You're either anxious, as you said, you're either in your anxious
Mhm.
attachment style, which is when you had a caregiver, parent, mother usually, who was so dysregulated, who was sometimes there, not there, and you constantly felt like you had to fight for
Mhm.
that connection. It was o on again, off again, that waiting energy.
Yep.
Who do I have to fight for connection. I have to, are they gonna be there? They were inconsistent in their presentation with them. The second type is called the avoidant. The avoidant is when you had the experience, like myself, where any expression of your emotions never really helped you get the outcomes that you
Mm.
wanted. So you learned that in order for me to soothe, I just have to leave my family system and just become an island because there's no point in sharing my dysregulation. My family, my parents, they don't know how to soothe my
Yeah.
nervous system because they were so dysregulated. So there's no point. I'm just going to become an island and just do it myself. So that's called the avoidant. And here's the thing, the anxious and the avoidant are like a moth to a
Right?
flame. So if you're anxious, you will. So the
So
anxious
true.
one soothed with communion and connection, the avoidant soothes with space.
Right. Right.
So it's like the more you push
Yep.
for connection, the more they want
Yep.
space. And it just fuels that. And the disorganized or the fearful avoidant is kind of like a mixture of both. When there was a lot of abuse or trauma, you wanted connection with your caregiver, but being connected with them was so
Mhm.
scary that it's kind of like you have one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. You want connection, but then as soon as it comes, you're like, get me the
It's
heck out of
scary.
here. And then, of course, then there's the secure, which is, your caregiver was there, emotionally attuned. You trust, you're wired for connection instead of survival. And so we are all responsible, not by fault, but responsible for taking ownership of healing those attachment wounds. Because if we don't, we then pick partners that actually trigger them so that these shadow parts of us that we exiled can come to the surface. And most of us aren't trained with the skills to be able to self
Right.
soothe and then integrate those, what's called integrate, bring them back to safety, and then have communication as our adult
Right.
self, right? So the whole goal of the work is to bring our adult self online.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm really passionate about teaching.